We are live. All right.
Live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the RDU Buzz. We are here live, ready to talk about all kinds of things going on in Raleigh and Durham with the news this week. So if you are joining us, we would love to know where you are watching from. So be sure to put that in the chat, whether you're watching this live or catching the replay later. We just love seeing where everybody is tuning in from. So we've got a lot of really interesting things today, from airport expansions, Michelin recommended restaurants in the area, which is really cool. And one of the most interesting topics to me personally is the revitalization of the old Northgate Mall in North Durham, where that was like the mall I went to as I was born and raised. And so this topic is really intriguing to me.
Yeah. How long has it been vacant?
Oh my goodness.
It's been years.
Well, I think it's been totally closed. It was actually open for a while. I think it was like right around like COVID, but it was pretty much vacant. Like it really had like a couple of stores inside. It was really like the food court was keeping it open, I think, for a while. And then the Macy's building was purchased by Duke.
It's been vacant.
Yeah.
Almost since we've been married.
Yeah.
Almost all of our marriage. It's been vacant for a while.
I feel like once I left high school, it was like coming back. It was just like, I graduated from high school in 2010. It was already like kind of like going down. They tried to kind of revitalize it like in 2007, 2008 when they built and I'm just guessing on that year. It might have actually been like 2005. They built like the movie theater, and I feel like they were trying to like expand like an outdoor portion of it to compete with South Point. And it just, I think once like 2008 came, it kind of just like put it on halt, and it never really got finished. And then it was just kind of like, I don't know. It just kind of
they've released plans for it.
It was just a shell of itself.
Yeah. But today we're going to go over the plans for the revitalized Northgate Mall. So
I'm so.
It's nothing like it's nothing like revolutionary, but it's better than a vacant mall sitting in the heart of your town, which is what Northgate has been for a very long time. So the gist of, and this isn't a Triangle Business Journal, but it sounds like the gist of what they are proposing is to have a large, they're going to tear them all down, and they're going to have, which I mean,
I think that brings
to
like
be expected.
I mean, I feel like it's hard not to, right? I mean, it's not like it's a newish building, so I'm sure there's just like a lot already kind of going on with it, but then I think that's what makes it hard for people that are like local to the area, because it's where your memories are. Like, I feel like being like an 80s or 90s kid, like your memories revolve around like hanging out at the mall as a kid, like there's so much with that. And so to demolish it, I think I'm sure that kind of like is controversial in itself to like demolish it. But I do think it does make sense. I mean, I don't know how you would do it without demolishing it.
So the developer is proposing to demolish it, and then it'll be anchored. The entire shopping center is going to be anchored by a 140,000 square foot retail building. I looked up, like the average size of like a Target, because that's something that North Durham doesn't have. And it's about 140,000 square feet. It's like 130 to 150,000 square feet. So
I am ready for them to tear it down.
If
a Target and a Trader Joe's could come in, they can tear down my childhood memories.
So after they that anchor is put in there, that 140,000 square foot retail space, essentially there's going to be like a parking lot in the center of it, and then it's going to be outlined by some smaller retail locations as well. So it sounds like one building is going to be 3,300 square feet. Then up to like 20,000 square feet on one. So it sounds kind of like almost like a strip mall set up. So you've got like a larger retail anchor location. I doubt it's going to be a grocery store. Our area is like, I mean, it's completely flush with grocery stores on that side of town.
Well,
you've got the Harris Teeter across
that little
the road.
Section. I don't think there's a Harris Teeter across the road there.
Well, there's one near the Costco.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like across the road, but it's it's close
you
enough.
do have that.
Yeah,
but what would be nice there is a Trader Joe's or an Aldi, like an alternative, not like a major grocery store, but like one of the ones that's like a little bit on the smaller side, but something different, like that has unique offerings. I think a Trader Joe's would be amazing in this area. And I see the 20,000 square feet size one. I'm like, that could be like Trader Joe's size. I feel like, I'm not the best with my spatial reasoning, but I'm thinking that seems
it could
big
be.
enough for like a small grocery store, maybe, like,
Yeah, it could
or
be.
an Aldi or something, like just something better. We definitely don't need like another Publix or Harris Teeter or Food Lion or anything.
Which I don't think that's what it would be. But
Yeah.
anyway, I like, obviously this is a really good thing for Durham, and this is in the proposal state. So the developer has proposed it to the city of Durham. They've got to go through the whole approval process for that. But
yes. Which they've been through
sitting,
they've been through these processes before, because I feel like we have talked about them like submitting plans to the city multiple times. Because I know last year I feel like they were trying to add housing to the area, and I don't feel like I read much about housing being part of this new
there
plan.
Was nothing listed
so I guess they've dropped that portion of it, which I think that's another controversy in the area, because I think a lot of people were really wanting there to be like some affordable housing or senior housing or something like that in that area, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
No, but regardless, this is good. This is good for Durham. Northgate has sat vacant for way too long for a city the size of Durham's. So anyway, I think it's really good.
Yeah, we would love to hear what your thoughts are about Northgate redeveloping, especially if you are at 80s, 90s, like 2000s local, or you grew up in that time, and you actually have memories at the mall. Would love to hear about those.
Yeah, for sure. So also, speaking of Durham, the historic Durham Athletic Parks. This is where the Durham Bulls used to play. Obviously, the Durham Bulls play now in the American Tobacco Campus region. But this is the historic one that was featured in the Bull Durham movie. So like this is the ball field.
OG.
And it now, I mean, it's obviously still there. They still hold events there throughout the year. But Durham is proposing multiple different ways to essentially revitalize that location as well. And they've got three different scenarios or three different plans that they put out. One is to keep an active but restored ball field, and make it a little more, I think, engaging for folks. Like not just have a ball field, but add maybe like a civic center, or some extra green space or something like that. Another one is to transform the ball field into some kind of open space to make it maybe more in line with what you see with like other parks that are kind of popping up through the area with like play space and gathering areas and civic space. And then another one, apparently there's a creek that flows under the site. So another one of the proposals, the third option, would be to do all of that open space, but also to restore the creek that essentially flows under the ball field now.
That's
so
really cool. Yeah, and it looks like each plan progressively costs more.
It does.
Money.
It does. It does.
Which is
well,
really
actually, the first one cost just as much as the second one.
Yeah.
So it essentially, to restore the ball field, is going
to
to cost
big,
as much as it is to
range,
transform.
40 to 60 million.
Yeah,
like that's a pretty big range. I don't know.
Range.
I think all of the options would be really neat. To have like it there.
But that ball field's special.
Keeping the ball field there, special. I think you have to keep the ball field there. But I think I think the coolest thing would be keep the ball field there, and then you have some like pedestrian areas around it. But I think you could put a playground next to the ball field that's baseball themed. So like there's not just a typical playground, but like a really creative playground. Like the downtown Cary Park has the Cardinal playground. So like all the structures are like kind of like this bird themed. Like it's a very thematic playground. Like I feel like this would be cool to make it, or even like a Durham themed playground where there's like a little Lucky Strike tower with a slide, or a baseball helmet, like place climbing structure or something. Like that would be so cool. I'm sure they'll listen to me.
No, but I mean seriously, they take.
I just think that would be so
but
cool.
Like in this,
everywhere has your typical playground stuff, but this is going to be walking, because it's not that far from the current where they play now. So you could have like,
it's on the other side of the
city. It's not that
I mean,
far.
Durham's a very
but I mean, you go
like
downtown and like you just have this like really cool spot that you could like go out to eat, and then your kids can go play at this ball field and just like enjoy it maybe before going to a Bulls game, or maybe your kids want that experience.
And this art right here, that's essentially what they did. They kept the ball field. Yeah. And then they've got this like, well, I mean, this looks like basketball court. Then you got this open space here that could be like a playground or something. But anyway, it is like when you look at what Cary's done in downtown Cary, or what Dix Park is becoming in downtown Raleigh. Like Durham doesn't really have anything comparable to that.
No, not
But
even
you've got
close.
some like small locations, and like this is one of those locations
Yeah.
where you could do something kind of like that if you wanted to.
I do. I just feel strongly that it needs a playground, because you have Central Park in downtown and it kind of has a playground, but it's really just more of like a skate park. And then there's like a tiny little like climbing structure, but it's not
hardly
big. Yeah. I'm like, you need like a place where, because I feel like they are trying to make downtown more of a touristy kind of place. So I'm like, if you came here and you were traveling with your family and you wanted to stay at one of these new cool hotels downtown, like the Durham Hotel or something, I was like, it would be great if you could, even if you took an Uber and didn't walk, though, this would be super walkable from there. Like to have like a destination kind of playground would be really cool. Obviously, you're kind of limited on space here, but I think we need a unique playground. So even if it's small, having like that cool theming would be really neat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you should write that plan to the city.
I will.
I mean, because like as they go through this process, I'm sure they'll be taking some I guess, because they'll do public hearings. But anyway, it sounds like some of the major players in the process are kind of advocating to keep the baseball
field, which I think would be
makes sense.
I mean, it's a landmark, but I think you got to make it something that everyone can enjoy and be a part of, and not feel just like a closed off space where you're like, am I allowed to be over here right now? Like, what is this?
Yeah. So the next story we want to hit is the airport is going through some major renovations, $2.5 billion worth of construction projects. Exact. So one of those, probably the most major one, is adding a new runway. And it sounds like this runway is going to be done in 2029. It's going to allow for, I guess, larger planes, essentially, because it's going to be a little bit longer than the regular one. And it sounds like it's going to replace the regular one. So I'm assuming once they start using it, they'll revitalize the other one. I would assume. I don't know. I don't know what they do with that.
It says it would be demolished turn into a taxiway.
So I guess they don't need. So I guess I don't know how that like helps with processes.
I don't know enough about airport processes.
I don't know anything about airport processes.
I've only ever experienced it as a passenger, so I don't know what it's like for employees.
But
and,
I guess
everybody
the
out there.
Taxiway will help with some of the demand.
Yeah.
But the other one is a Terminal 2 expansion, and this is actually pretty robust. So I'm just thankful.
Yeah, that's a lot of expansion.
I'm thankful that it's not. So Terminal 1 is the terminal that has like Southwest and some of the other like discount airlines. I think that is the biggest or like best kept secret in the Raleigh area.
I mean, it's not a secret, but Terminal it's so 1, nice when you know that you're going to that one, because you're like, there's gonna be nobody there.
There's no one there.
Yeah.
It's empty.
It's
you get
so
through
quiet.
Security so quickly.
Yeah. That side really is. Whenever we fly Southwest, I'm like, yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
So when I saw like terminal renovations, I was like, oh, please don't be expanding the terminal that has nobody in it to like bring more people. And they're not. They're expanding the busier one, which is good.
Yeah.
It looks like
which is actually interesting, because you'd think they would try to move some of the traffic over to the other building, but it must not like be compatible.
We don't want that. We want terminal we want terminal 1 to always remain uncrowded. So
that's our fave. It's our fave.
Yeah, but I mean, in all seriousness, if you live in the Raleigh area or moving to the Raleigh area, like, and you fly Southwest or any of the other, I forget what the other airlines are. Avilo, what's that one?
I don't know.
Anyway, but
I'm not sure.
They're so like, that terminal is just fantastic. It's literally the security line. You just like blow right through it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, you never have to wait.
But Terminal 2 is not that bad, even though it's busier.
Yeah.
But obviously the expansion will help, because like as our area is growing, like I really do. I know I've mentioned this in some of our other videos, but RDU airport is, I think, without question, one of the best things about our region. Like when I get off the plane in Charlotte or any other airport, it is just overwhelming with how many people you run into. But in our airport at RDU, it's not that bad. Like you get off the plane and it's just relaxing.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it. I love it
it's
so much.
definitely quiet compared
Yeah.
to other ones, even though there's like, it's not like a tiny airport, but it's
sufficient.
I don't know, it's just efficient. Yeah.
It's
and
sufficient for everything you need.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have direct flights, then you have an easy connection to a city that does have direct flights. Like it's everything. It's everything you need. So another part of the expansions, obviously, we've talked about the new runway, Terminal 2 expansion. It changes to the outer loop, John Brantley Boulevard. So this literally is the only way to get around the airport. Is this like loop that goes around? So they're going to expand.
That's going to be a complex, like, I don't know how you reroute the traffic for something like that. Cause it's like, you can't like just close the whole road. And it's all like, I mean, every airport's this way, but like when you're exiting the highway to get onto that, you're just like, your mind is going like a million miles per hour trying to follow the signs and figure out which side you're going to be on, or you get stuck on this like continuous loop, you know? So like, that'll be interesting to see how they can manage changing a road like that.
Yeah, exactly. And we got Steve joining us tonight saying hello. It's good to hear your show live, and it's good to be back live.
Thanks,
so
Steven.
I think this is our third one live since we started doing it live again.
Yeah.
So it's much better doing it live, I think.
Where are you watching from, Steven? Would love to hear that.
Recorded. But yeah, so anyway, so I think these updates will be really good. Yes. Another interesting story that came out was, so there's a company, Capital Broadcasting, that owns the Durham Bulls. They own the American Tobacco campus, and they own WRAL, and they just essentially partnered with the 5-county stadium, which is the stadium that used to be the Mudcats. The Mudcats were like I forget, what was it, AAA baseball?
Yeah, it's like
the lowest.
You know, it's like
lower
professional, but the lowest, I guess.
Yeah. So the Mudcats played there. The Mudcats are now moving to Wilson, which is like basically like an hour-ish east. And so 5-county stadium's like literally in the middle of nowhere, literally in the middle of nowhere. And so anyway, so the company that owns the Durham Bulls and the American Tobacco campus, which is kind of the region that the Durham Bulls play in, and WRL, which is a local news station, has basically partnered with 5-county stadium. So there's this article basically says, no official plans have been released, but given what's happened around the Durham Bulls Athletic Park and the American Tobacco campus and the rapid growth happening in eastern Wake County, it's likely we'll see a proposal for a large mixed-use project at some point in the near future.
That'd be really cool for Zebulon. You know,
Yeah,
I feel like,
really
obviously that area has grown in the last 10 years.
I feel like Zebulon sometimes gets forgotten.
Yeah, but it's kind of forgettable at the same time. Yeah, it's like, you've got Wendell and Knightdale have really exploded, and then you have Zebulon on the other side of that. So, I feel like you'll get a lot of people would probably go to that live in like Wendell and stuff, because it's probably like, well, I could go there or could go to the Durham Bulls, but this might be a little closer for them. So this would be cool. I'd love to see that, because it's pretty quiet. Even with the development that's happened in Zebulon, it's still, it's not like the most happening of places. So this, and having the Mudcats leave there, I think has probably been really hard on their local economy too, because I know that people would travel from Durham and Raleigh to go to Mudcats games too, or other parts of the triangle. So I think this will be good to get a new team in there.
And that stadium is literally in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's a big stadium.
It is. It is. It just like rises over the cornfields. Essentially, it's like in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
But anyway, so I thought that was pretty good, and like we already said, good for Zebulon. Like Zebulon. But Zebulon deserves some love. And it's good. It's good that they're doing that.
It does. Oh, and Steven said he is watching from Fayetteville.
Awesome.
So very cool.
Yeah. So back to Durham. We've got a lot of Durham news in this one. So more luxury, high-end condos coming to Durham. Durham's getting,
it's just what everyone wants to hear. More luxury condos.
Durham's getting loaded up with luxury condos right now.
Downtown Durham loves a luxury condo.
Yeah, but these do look a little different.
I actually like these. Yeah, these look like townhomes, which I do appreciate that it's not looking like a high rise. I feel like we've got enough of that kind of going on.
So these are right by. So you got 147 right here, right over on the other side. Sorry, you probably can't see it because of the screen. our screen. But right on the other side of 147 is the Durham Bulls Park. So literally, like the folks who buy here would be able to walk essentially to the Durham Bulls
so cool.
or to the American Tobacco campus.
That'd be really cool.
And right along here, I mean, you can see right here is the American Tobacco Trail. So the American Tobacco Trail starts right there.
Yeah.
Basically goes all the way to Cary. If you want to hop on it that long. But I mean, that's a good location.
Yeah, it's to be able to hop in your car that close to the highway is like huge. And you know, downtown is doing this new rail trail that's taking that old train track through the downtown.
Which the old ballpark that we talked about earlier is going to have a connection point.
Yeah, so I think that's exciting.
Yeah,
good stuff for downtown.
But these condos, Elm Hill is going to be the name of the development. 68 units ranging from 875,000 to 1.28 million.
Wow.
I just can't get over the prices for condos.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's insane.
So crazy.
That's insane. Yeah. Like it blows my mind.
Yeah, these look from the concept art do look really big though. Like they don't seem like because some condos I think almost feel more like an apartment, like as far as like the layout and the size. But these look like three-story. You know, more like 3-story townhome. So at least maybe the square footage, you get a little more for your money with the square footage. But yeah, you're paying for that location for sure.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's anyway. So I struggle with like condo prices.
Yeah.
Like single family. Sometimes I can get single family, even though I think sometimes I struggle with that too. But like condo prices, I mean, that's crazy. So anyway, we'll start. Restaurants, and then I'm going to talk about this 50-year mortgage proposal that came out. So I'm going to scroll all the way up here to the top. So Raleigh does not have a Michelin star restaurant, which is actually kind of surprising. I thought we did. I thought that the one, I think it's called Herons at Umstead, the Umstead Spa. I thought that was a Michelin star, and I thought the one at Farrington. I thought the Farrington restaurant. I thought that was a Michelin star, but I don't know. Regardless,
maybe they were just recommended in the past.
Yeah, regardless of what I thought, Raleigh does not have a Michelin star restaurant, but we do have 14 recommended restaurants, and one of those is one that we talk about all the time. And that's Bib. I'm not even going to, how do you say that? I'm not even going to try to say it. But they got an award. Prime Barbecue got an award, and they deserve it. We talk about Prime Barbecue a lot because it is deserving of talking about a lot. And this justifies it. This proves that we don't just talk about it because we're biased. Yeah. It was recognized by the Michelin team. As being fantastic.
Yes.
So Prime Barbecue got it. Sam Jones Barbecue got it. Sam Jones is good.
Yeah.
We ate there recently.
Yeah.
I say recently. It was like
it's been a little while, but they have really good like bread there. What was it? Like
it's the cornbread.
Yeah, it's like a corn
it was the sweet
biscuit or something.
Or the sweet potato muffin.
Yeah.
What was
I think we tried both. Yeah, I think it was a sweet potato muffin. They were both really good. So both places are great. Something really nice that I love about Prime Barbecue is that it is right across the street from Nightdale Station Park. So I feel like you can go there, and then as an adult you can just walk the trail around the pond, or if you have kids, like you have a playground right there. So it's just a good location too.
Yeah, I was looking on here. I mean, it's just like restaurant after restaurant. There was another a lot of barbecue restaurants in that area have been recommended. Yes. Herons. Okay, so Herons was
recommended. So maybe it's just like
so it's a Forbes 5-star restaurant.
There you go. A AAA 5 Diamond Award. Okay. We're not connoisseurs of these fancy things, so we just don't know all of the terms.
We're definitely not. But anyway, so Pool's Diner. I've always wanted to eat at Pool's Diner.
Yeah.
But that's recommended. So anyway, so Raleigh's got 14. When I say Raleigh, like the region of Raleigh has 14 of these.
Exciting.
So we should make a list and slowly knock these out.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to end tonight on a proposal by the Trump administration of a 50-year mortgage. So a couple hurdles for
It's
a
a lot
50-year
of
mortgage. Yeah, it's a lot of years. One hurdle, and this is a massive hurdle, is the Dodd-Frank Act that came out of the financial crisis. Basically limits mortgages to 30 years. So you can't have a mortgage longer than this unless that law was changed, for one. But Housing Wire had a really honestly great article on this, kind of breaking down different scenarios. I've got them up on the screen here of, like, you know, if you had a $300,000 mortgage or a $400,000 mortgage, or a $500,000 mortgage, you know, what's your payment difference, assuming that the mortgage rate was the same with the 20% down payment. So every single, you know, scenario was the same, minus the length of the terms of the mortgage. But I mean, there's payment difference, but it's not like as substantial as you would have assumed. You know,
I'm going to buy a $500,000 house and I can pay $2,500 a month versus $2,200 a month, I think I would just pay 25, you know, and not pay for 50 years. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know that savings of $200-ish are really worth it, but
I do think there is. Well, I'll scroll down here. So the economist for Housing Wire basically said it's not a good idea, that subsidizing more demand is not the policy we want. Housing has to balance itself out through slowing home price growth and wages increasing. So he's basically saying that a 50-year mortgage is going to subsidize the housing market and essentially make things worse. I think my fear with the 50-year mortgage, Cindy and I were talking today. So the average first-time home buyer, this just came out, National Association of Realtors put this statistic out. The average first-time home buyer in the country is 40 now. So last year, I think it was 38. Now it's 40. So if you're a 40-year-old house for the first time and you get a 50-year mortgage, life expectancy in this country is 78. Like,
the math ain't mathing.
It doesn't do you any. You never own the house.
You're pretty much just renting permanently. There's never like a, you know, in your heart, it's like, I'm never gonna like actually like own this outright. And I feel like a big part of the benefit of owning a home is like the wealth that it builds for you, like over, you know, once you're done paying for that and you're in retirement.
The equity you gain on a 50-year mortgage is going to be much, much, much slower than it would be on a 30-year mortgage. Too. And so,
because I'm sure, you know, with the way mortgages work, if you've ever looked at like an amortization schedule, like you're pretty much only paying interest in the beginning. So if it takes you that much longer to get through to like putting more into the, like the principal of the loan instead of just the interest, it could be like, I stayed in the house for 10 years and now when I go to sell it, I actually like don't really have any equity hardly at all, which, you know, presents a huge problem because then it makes you probably feel like locked into having to stay in that house or be like, you know, just not have any equity to put into your next one. So I mean, overall doesn't seem like a good idea, but I think it does probably come from a good place of like, how do we make it more possible for first-time buyers?
I mean, just from the basic, like for a home buyer, average age 40 years old, like within 50 years, like you're past, you know, what the normal life expectancy is. And so like at that point, you're renting, you're renting from the bank. And so you're not like, it's not like true. It's not like what you think of with like regular, like home ownership or one day I can pay this off and I won't have any more payments anymore. And anyway, so
would love to hear y'all's thoughts on that. Like, is it nice to have that like extra affordability in the monthly payment? Is it worth it to have 20 more years tacked on to your mortgage? Or do you guys also think this is maybe not the best idea? I would love to hear your thoughts about that.
Sure. Well, that is all that we have tonight, y'all. But I really appreciate y'all tuning in. And we'll be back maybe before Thanksgiving, but possibly after Thanksgiving.
Yes. So. And if you're catching this live or catching the replay, feel free to throw any questions into the chat, regardless of if it's a topic we covered on today. If you have a general Raleigh question, would be happy to answer it for you.
For sure. But thank y'all for tuning in and we'll see y'all next time.
See you next time.
Bye, y'all.